The South African citrus exporters will be in a more favourable position when the UK finally separates from the mainland, because the UK don't have orchards and there are no disease risks and its associated costs, which South African exporters have to incur.
And one hope is that the UK will adopt their own plant health regulations, which will be easier on our citrus industry and therefore allow us to perhaps expand our exports into that country.
They are incurring R1 billion in cost just to be able to overcome the constraints of CBS. So that will be a significant cost reduction because the UK is a huge market for fresh fruit.
There's also the question of tariffs. Citrus tariffs were recently increased. Citrus farmers have high hopes though.
We hope, obviously, is that Rob Davies and his team will negotiate a good a trade dispensation with the UK. Given our historic links in the Commonwealth, obviously one hope is perhaps that they resurrect a trade negotiation block around the old Commonwealth countries and that we get preferential trade access for our citrus into the UK.
The wine industry is on tenterhooks. At stake for the South African wine exporters is 77 million litres of bottled wine and 33 million litres of bulk wine. This was negotiated as part of the Economic Partnership Agreement with the EU late last year.
25% of the wine that we're exporting to the EU actually ends up in the UK. So if you take away the UK from the equation, it significantly diminishes the value of the agreement itself. And at the same time, it also upsets the balance of those quotas that were negotiated.
While the two sectors wait for the British Parliament to initiate the divorce, the development of a new trade framework is in the hands of the British.
If it's complete dissociation from the EU, and then that changes the game altogether. We will have to negotiate a separate agreement and not necessarily use the template that we had under the Economic Partnership Agreement, because their law or their trade regime will be totally different from that of the EU.
It does appear that Brexit will work to the advantage of the citrus industry. It's less certain what's going to happen to the wine industry. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.